Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. will be going down June 28th. In my opinion, I think Jake Paul absolutely sweeps Chavez Jr. in that ring, either by a knockout or a stoppage. I'm not really giving Chavez Jr. any type of chance when it comes to this fight. When I think about Chavez's career, when I think about what he's done, where he's been, his ups and downs, I don't really consider Chavez Jr. as an elite fighter, and I think most of his hype came from his dad. And there was so much pressure of him living up to that and them comparing the two. And Chavez Jr. just never found discipline in his career. There was moments of where he was on track. There was moments of when you thought he was going to change his career around. But overall, I just never saw Chavez as an elite, disciplined fighter. He's been to that elite level. He's fought Canelo. He's fought Daniel Jacobs. He's fought Sergio Martinez. Overall, I thought Chavez Jr. just was never an elite fighter, in my personal opinion. And they always compared him to his dad and never felt like he could have lived up to it. But I feel like he's never really given himself a chance to live up to it. He's never really tried to discipline himself to live up to it, and he gave everybody a reason why they're saying he's never gonna live up to his dad. Like I said, his ups and downs in the ring, outside of the ring. But Jake Paul, regardless if you guys don't like him, regardless if you do like him, whatever you think about Jake Paul, I used to think Jake Paul, when he first stepped into the game, that he wasn't a real boxer. He's not taking this serious because he didn't take that amateur traditional route. He doesn't have that amateur background experience where you truly work your way up from the bottom. You truly work your way up from the gutter, right? You build that amateur experience. We didn't see that from Jake Paul. He already had a foundation of his own. He already had a platform of his own. He already had an audience of his own. He came in to the game with the millions and millions of dollars where he can be his own promotional company, where he can build his own promotional company, where he's bringing his own fans. And regardless if they're not boxing fans or not, or they're just getting into the boxing game because of Jake Paul, they're not familiar with this boxing game. They don't know much about it, and they don't know the route of not taking their traditional amateur route, like I said, where Jake Paul just jumped into it, and he can pay these MMA fighters, these retired fighters, these retired boxers who have a name, who can step into the ring with them. I think that's exactly why we didn't like Jake Paul at first, why we weren't agreeing with him when he was saying he was an actual boxer. He's taking this seriously because we didn't see the traditional route from him. This is the first time we've ever seen someone really start their way damn near to the top, making millions of dollars, selling tickets, and being a success right out of the gate. Maybe not as an elite fighter, which I don't think Jake Paul will ever get there due to his experience, but we're just not used to seeing someone take the traditional route. I think that's a lot of reasons why we disagree with Jake Paul when he says he's going to become world champion. Like I said, I still don't think he will because of the experience that Jake Paul holds. But I do believe that Jake Paul is a real fighter. I do believe he's taking this boxing game very, very seriously. He's 80% of his life is spent in this gym, and he's been doing it for what, 5 years now, 6 years now. That's the whole point of this boxing game. He's a real boxer. I don't think he'll ever be an elite boxer. I don't think he'll ever get to that championship level because you have fighters who started at 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10, 11, 12, so on and so forth, right? Where Jake Paul doesn't have that amateur experience background. I think that's what separates from Jake Paul being a real fighter to a real elite fighter who's going to get to that top level. But regardless, Jake Paul is a real fighter. Regardless if you guys agree with it or disagree with it, he spends 80% of his time in that damn boxing gym working. It seems like he has a great team around him. It seems like his business is a success with MVP Promotions. Overall, I think Jake Paul, it's not a similar route. It's not a route that we usually see, but it's a route that works, especially if you're coming in with your own fan base, your own platform, your own foundation. But Jake Paul, I think, is on his way to make a name for himself in the boxing game. I just don't know, and I don't think it's going to be at that elite level, in my personal opinion. But he has the money, he has the resources. He spends 80% of his day in the boxing gym with a solid team. Now, that's going to get him far. I just don't know, and I don't think it's going to get him to that elite level. Overall, I think Jake Paul's skills are getting very, very good. I think he has a great jab. He has great foot movement. His technique is getting good. Overall, I think Jake Paul sweeps Chavez Jr. I think he knocks him out. I think he stops him. I personally don't think it's going to go to the scorecards. Let me know what you guys think about this fight. Do you like this fight? Don't you like this fight? I know Chavez is way, way out of his prime. I think this is going to be at, 190, probably even 200 plus. I mean, overall, I never really saw Chavez Jr. as a dedicated fighter in his career. Been to that elite level, just never seen him as an elite fighter. Let me know what you guys think about this fight. I personally think that Chavez is there for a money grab. In my personal opinion, I don't really see him bringing any type of threat to Jake Paul. But let me know what you guys think about this fight, and I'll catch you in the next one. I'm out.